Hi everyone, I'm Chris Hernandez, and this is the Weekly Report. We're in the rotunda of City Hall, and yes, city workers are still on the job providing essential city services for you. Now, some of our workers are working remotely as we set up a digital City Hall, but for others, we have to come in to do our jobs. For example, trash crews, public works road crews, and water plant operators can't work from home. They have to come in to provide those city services our residents expect. So all city staff will keep doing whatever's necessary to provide essential services to you, our residents. If you do have city business to conduct, you don't have to come down to City Hall. Just go online. You can pay your water bills, municipal court tickets, permits, fees, all kinds of things are available. Just go to kcmo.gov/pay. Also during this time, KC Water will not shut off water for non-payment. We want to ensure that all customers have access to clean, fresh, running water for good hygiene and washing those hands. Municipal Court has canceled hearings for defendants not in custody through April 10th. Go to kcmo.gov/news for more information about that. And don't forget, you can always watch council meetings in real time, along with other city videos, on our YouTube channel. Go to youtube.com/kcmocco. You can also subscribe to the city clerk's meeting email notifications at kcmo.gov/subscribe. If you want to provide testimony for ordinances being discussed during legislative meetings, you can send your email to publictestimony@kcmo.org. Please add the ordinance number in the subject line. Remember that comments received during the ordinance discussion will be read aloud by the city clerk during the public comment period. Comments received later will be added to the public record by the clerk. This is our way of enabling you to watch along on Channel 2 while still submitting your public comments. If you haven't heard the message by now, washing your hands frequently and thoroughly is still the best way to prevent the spread of this virus. Watch this. The KC streetcar is also taking extra precautions. The streetcars are sanitized and disinfected, which includes wiping down the seats, the walls, and door panels. They also have posted signage encouraging social distancing while on board the streetcar. KC Pet Project is asking for extra help during this time as well.
Hi, I'm Tori Fugate. I'm the Chief Communications Officer here at KC Pet Project at the Kansas City campus for animal care. And we are here at the shelter still. We are open for business at your city shelter here for Kansas City, Missouri, and we are asking for the community's help through a number of ways right now. We are still open for adoptions here at the campus and at our other locations. You can keep up to date with everything that's happening here at the campus through our website at kcpetproject.org/coronavirus. That's where we're posting all of the updates of everything that's happening here at the campus. We're also asking the community to help us through fostering. We are trying our very best to move every available animal that we can out of the building right now, either through adoptions or through fostering. And if you've been interested in being a part of our foster community, now is a really great time. If you need a quarantine buddy or a sheltering buddy, we have a shelter buddy here for you. So we are asking that anybody who has to give up a pet for any reason right now to please do their best to hold on to their animal. We are trying our best to keep animals from coming into the shelter and prioritize emergency only intakes right now. So prioritizing injured animals and animals that truly absolutely have to come into the shelter. And if you find an animal in Kansas City, we're also providing resources to help that pet get back home. You can go to a vet clinic to check for a microchip to see if that pet has a chip at the clinic, as opposed to having to bring them here. Posting that pet on Nextdoor is a great resource, as well as social media. What we find is that most stray animals actually went missing from the area in which they were found in, and so posting on neighborhood groups and things like that will also help that pet get home faster. You can also fill out a found pet form on our website, and we can, post that pet on our Lost and Found page on Facebook, just as a courtesy posting to try to get that pet back home faster, as opposed to bringing it here to the campus. This will be an ongoing situation. It's not just for this week. We're expecting more animals to arrive every single day. So if you're interested in getting involved, we would love to have your help here at KC Pet Project.
And we are keeping you up to date on all developments surrounding this outbreak. Just go to our website at kcmo.gov/coronavirus. And if you would like to receive a text alert on your phone when there are major developments, just text the words COVID-KC to 888-777. I'm Chris Hernandez. This is the Weekly Report. Stay safe out there, folks.
Hello, I'm Roosevelt Lyons, Deputy Director of KC Parks. The health and wellness of our staff and guests is our top priority. To follow the recent CDC guidelines, KC Parks is implementing the following. All KC Parks community centers, museums, and the like will be closed to the public through April 4th, 2020. Parks will remain open 5 a.m. to midnight. Spring Break Camp will continue as scheduled this week. Events of more than 10 attendees will not be permitted in our parks facilities until May 15th, 2020. KC Parks takes our responsibility to patrons and employees very seriously. As such, we are actively monitoring the situation and will implement additional changes as needed to ensure a high level of safety for all. We are proud of the preventative measures we are taking to protect against the spread of the virus. Thank you for your continued support and cooperation. Please take care of yourself and each other. If you need any further information about KC Parks changes, please go to www.kcparks.org.
Hey, I'm Jordan Brown, KC Parks Manager of Recreation. We wanted to let you know that while our community centers are closed to the public, our staff is busy right now deep cleaning everything. All of the lockers are getting cleaned out and are being sanitized. All of the floors are getting scrubbed and some of the flooring will be completely stripped and sanitized. All chairs, tables, and equipment will be sanitized and deep cleaned as well. We are all working together to make KC Parks community centers and facilities the best they can be. Safety is always our first concern. In the meantime, we are working on bringing programming to you at home through our KC Parks Community Facebook page. We will have workouts, Lakeside Nature Center Live, chair aerobics, and more. So even while we are closed, remember, KC Parks is where KC plays.
Since 2003, Studios Inc. has played a pivotal role in the community, providing services to artists, public programs and exhibitions, and so much more. Their exhibitions are currently supported by the Neighborhood Tourist Development Fund, and here to tell us all about Studios Inc. and more is Executive Director Courtney Wasson. Courtney, thank you for having us out to Studios Inc.
Thanks for coming.
Now, can you tell me what was the idea behind starting Studios Inc.?
The idea originated with Brad Nicholson, and it was a relationship between him and the artist Lester Goldman. So Brad would go to his studio, which was in his garage, and they developed a friendship, and he saw that Lester had in the rafters artwork tucked up high and down low, and then he's a property developer here. And he had this large building that wasn't being used, and someone came up to him and asked him if he'd be interested in providing studio spaces. And because of his relationship with Lester, he really thought that would offer something to this mid-career artist or other mid-career artists in Kansas City. And he also just really appreciated the art scene. So he wanted to make sure that these wonderful artists were staying in our community so that we could benefit from what they did.
And in addition to the artist residency for mid-career artists, you also have exhibitions of their work throughout the year. As well as an internship program, a patron program. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so we are primarily an artist residency program, and every program underneath that supports that residency. So the mid-career artists that are here, at the end of their residency, they get an exhibition in our large exhibition hall. And then from the works that they donate throughout their years here at Studios Inc., in this front gallery space, we're able to showcase that work. And so even once an artist has left the program, we can still continue to support them and bring awareness to them and their studio practice and what they do.
And you have how many resident artists at one time?
We have right now 10.
Okay, and then if someone would like to apply to be a resident artist, how would they go about doing that?
So once a year, we do an open call. So it is geared towards mid-career artists, and that is a flexible definition. So someone that's postgraduate, about 7 years, they have an established career, they have an established studio practice, they've shown regionally, nationally, maybe have publications written about them. They apply online, and then we juror that application, and then from that we choose finalists and do studio visits.
Okay, and then your internship program is with students who are interested in being a part of a gallery?
A gallery, they may be interested in having a studio practice. They might want to write or be a curator. So right now we have 2 women who are exhibition interns, and they're primarily responsible for helping install in the big hall. We have 2 gallery exhibition interns, so they're learning the business on how to sell work and promote and market work. We have a social media intern who's focused on building her portfolio and wants to be in marketing and possibly creative director at some point in her career. When a student comes to us, it's really important that we learn what their goals are moving forward. And then we work to tailor what we do here to their goals and aspirations.
And with the patrons program, you pretty much partner the artist with a patron.
Yes, so we have a level that's an artist patron. It's a $5,000 patronage, and they get to sponsor an artist specifically. Outside of our artist patrons, we would love to have a patron at a $10,000 or $65,000 level, but we have multiple levels. We have a $1,000 level, we have a $500. If you want to be a friend of studios, you could be anywhere from $50 to $500.
And I've been to your First Friday exhibitions, but you have the space open throughout the year. It's not just on First Fridays, and you get tons of people coming through at a time. About how many a year do you think come through the space?
Specifically for the art side, we have about 13,000 to 14,000 people that come through in a year.
And how many would you say are from outside of Kansas City, Missouri?
I would say easily 1 out of 4, 25% are from outside of the Kansas City metro. So it's really nice.
Pretty impressive.
It is. It's really nice, and especially when there's students that are coming to see, and they're learning and they're growing and expanding their knowledge base, and they're doing that with artists here in Kansas City.
And if people want to find out more about upcoming programs, exhibits, panel discussions, where's the best place to go?
I would say 2 places specifically: social media, because we're always posting to that, in our website. We're pretty active. We have a robust website. We have a news and writing section that goes historically down back 10 years. You can search an artist or a medium and find articles on those.
And you also have a few videos on the YouTube channel too, right?
We do. So we started this past year a podcast where we sit down and with an artist or someone related to our program, and we have about a 30-minute discussion.
Great. Well, Courtney, thank you so much for having us out and for sharing information, and we're looking forward to your next exhibition.
Well, thanks for coming.
To learn about additional upcoming events, visit kcmo.gov/ntdf.
Good morning and welcome to Wild Wednesday here at the Kansas City Zoo. I'm your host, Allison, and I am joined today with Jessica in one of my favorite places at the zoo. It's lots of fun. There's lots of water. And there's lots of splashes.
There is.
Sea Lion Splash! Oh my gosh! And today in the background we are training. We have a couple keepers helping us. Keeper Sam right here with Luna. And we also have Keeper Darcy across the way, making sure everything stays nice and safe. Perfect. Now, what exactly are we going to be doing today with Luna? What are we learning?
So we're learning all about how we train our sea lions here at Sea Lion Splash, which, as you know, you've seen some pretty incredible things that these animals can do.
Aerobics.
A lot.
I've seen jumps, I've seen rolls, I've seen lots of eating, lots of fish eating.
Yes.
Which is my favorite I think if I was an animal being trained, I would love to get snacks all the time.
Exactly.
So training is something we do all over at the Kansas City Zoo. Why do we train? What is it for?
That's a great question. So we train here at the zoo for their mental and physical stimulation so that they can think about these behaviors. They can also gain muscle mass. They can be as healthy as possible so we can keep them in tip-top shape.
That makes sense. We want them to stay physically healthy and mentally healthy because we don't want them to get bored.
Right.
That's not fun at all. Okay, so what kind of training do we do here at Sea Lion Splash?
So here at Sea Lion Splash, we use positive reinforcement training. So all that means is if you think of positive as adding something, so the addition symbol, and negative is the subtraction symbol. We always add to our animal's environment using something to reinforce or increase the likelihood that they'll do that behavior again in the future. So just like you said with our sea lions specifically, that's going to be fish. That's going to be excitement. So just like you get really excited for your dog at home when they do something you ask them to do, same thing here. So you may hear, especially from Sam, some squeals, some cheering, some clapping, and that really lets Luna know that that's exactly what we asked you to do.
Are there any other things that are serve as rewards for the sea lions other than fish?
Yes, so we incorporate a few different kind of higher reinforcing treats throughout the week. So sometimes we do incorporate squid into their diet, and believe it or not, non-flavored sugar-free Jell-O. Which doesn't sound but for these guys it can also provide more hydration for them. So we do feed them frozen and then thawed out fish. So if there was any water loss through that provides them with more. And it's something squishy, something fun that they don't get all the time.
Like a little toy too.
So it's kind of a fun thing to give them.
And I don't know, I just have a feeling Luna and Sam really love each other. So can their favorite keeper also be a positive reinforcement reward?
Yes, we probably use that the most. Especially in our area here at the zoo where the show is an ambassador animal team. So we work very closely with each individual animal, which means we need to learn their quirks and personalities, what they really find reinforcing or fun, and things that they find a little bit more nerve-wracking, makes them a little bit nervous. So we want to make sure we can work with them. We say they're our co-workers just as much as anybody else.
That's good.
So we want to work with them as a team so that we're both successful in any training.
And I can see how these girls, especially Luna, came here with a good friend, Pepper, right?
That's exactly right.
And they didn't come from a zoo necessarily. They're rescue sea lions, right?
Yes.
So that can even be a more difficult transition. So the better positive experience, the better, right? So tell us about where they came from, how long they've been here.
Okay, so both of these girls are rescues. So as you see Luna in the pool right now, they were rescued from being emaciated and dehydrated, so very thin. They were very, very young when they were first spotted and rescued. So they weren't really able to hunt or find food on their own, so we may believe that they were orphans out in the wild. So they were rescued, and those rescue efforts included giving them more food in their diet to make sure that they could gain that weight. These two were both released back out into the wild to hopefully have that be a successful release. But once again, they were found very, very thin and in need of care. So they were actually rescued twice out in the wild. And how we know that is they had a flipper tag on them when they were rescued the first time and released so that they could be identified later. And Luna actually still has her flipper tag on her right flipper.
Oh, the orange tag.
Yes, so that's one way you can identify Luna. Now those tags can fall off over time. She's just kept hers. Pepper no longer
has... It's her favorite earring or flipper wing, I guess.
Pepper no longer has her tag, but that's one way then she's the only animal here in the pool is Luna that you can see that flipper tag. So that's one way you can identify her when you come to the zoo. But yeah, so then these... They're so silly. So these two girls were then placed with us in our care as a forever loving home. So we can take care of them. And the main thing is they can be an ambassador for their species. We can talk to people in the middle of the country about ocean related issues because a lot of times you wouldn't get to see these gorgeous, beautiful, wonderful animals here in Kansas City. So this is one place that you can come see them, learn about their stories, see all of those fun personalities and quirks and sounds.
Just like that.
I think so, yeah.
So I see Keeper Sam, she's doing a lot of training, and I'm wondering, all right, Luna's pretty smart. In general, marine mammals are very smart, but sea lions specifically are extremely smart. So I know she's probably picked up on quite a bit of behaviors, and some of those behaviors are things we would actually, they've been put on a queue, but they're things that they would do actually out in the wild. What are some behaviors that they learn here that are similar to what you'd see in the wild?
So some natural behaviors include kind of jumping in and out of the water, like a porpoising behavior like they do to get away from predators.
Ah.
So that's like one bow or one part of that porpoise that they could do, and they could use that to build up speed to get away from predators out in the wild. They can also, like Sam just showed, they can run on land. So they're slightly different than seals in that they can use all 4 flippers to run on land.
They're super strong. Okay. And then what are some of those behaviors that, I don't know, maybe we've remixed for Sea Lion Splash?
So there's some really fun, like high energy behaviors that we can, like I said, not only train to build up their physical stability, like this ball jump.
Woo!
But it's also obviously, just like you did, a lot of fun for our guests to see. Now that is very important for their muscle and their strength, because out in the wild they would do things like needing to jump out of the water very quickly to climb up onto rocks.
Okay.
So that does build up those natural muscles so that they're able to jump really high up out of the water.
So they're such strong animals, that physically and mentally, which is incredible. Now, how often do you all train the sea lions here in the pool?
So we train them at minimum 3 times a day to go along with our show schedule, but we also do a lot of different training sessions outside of our normal show schedule. Some of those training sessions may be outside here in the pool, so if you're just walking around on zoo grounds, you may see us out here outside of our show times.
Okay.
But we also train inside of our building. So inside the building we have 2 pools, and we also have some other land areas as well. So we can train them to do a lot of different things. So for example, inside the building is where we do a lot more of our voluntary husbandry or medical type behaviors.
Okay, so a lot of people don't understand that training goes beyond the edutainment factor that a guest see on grounds, but also medical behaviors are very important, especially when it's time to go see the doctor or the veterinarian here at the zoo.
Yes.
So what kind of behaviors? Like that, getting some eye drops, that's pretty cool. I'm not that great about getting eye drops. I don't sit that still.
I really don't know how they do that. I give them all the credit for that one. So really it just takes us, like I said, building those relationships so they trust us, and they trust us bringing in someone who they may not get to see all of the time. And they're like, you know what, since you're here with me, I'm okay with that person being here too. So we're kind of like their support system as well with that relationship. But we can train them different things, like different body layouts, so that we can check them all over, make sure that they're doing okay overall with their body condition, so that we can give any of those updates to our animal health department if we see anything that needs reported.
Very cool. Now, there's one other thing I can't help to think. Luna is out here by herself today, getting all these delicious fish. But I know that multiple times a day, she's out here with way more sea lions.
That's right.
So, yes, Luna, I know. So how in the world do you train anywhere between 3, 4, 6 sea lions all at the same time?
So a lot of times with our animals, we have trained them to be able to work together with one trainer. For shorter periods of time, we're building that up so that we can increase that duration. But we're usually one-on-one with our animals. Again, that really helps us build our relationship with them. So depending on the day, we can kind of mix up their day for them. So this is really fun for Luna, that she gets to be out here all by herself.
Oh my gosh.
So we sometimes have shows set up for that reason, so that people can really learn just about that one animal up close and personal. But like you said, we have up to 5 animals that they can see here at the zoo. So they're all female, so it's kind of like a sea lion sorority here. So we do mix up who's out here, who works in shows, who kind of has a show off or half a show. And that really mixes up, like I said, they have no idea what's next in their day.
Wow. Now, and I know Luna has shown us all of her all-star moves,
Yes.
but everybody's got to stay a student, and there's some things she needs to learn. So
right.
are there maybe some behaviors that you're working on that we could maybe see today?
So we're actually gonna have Sam just really freestyle this for you this morning. So this isn't a behavior that she's working on at all, and she's never even attempted it or seen it or tried it at all. So we thought this would be really fun for you guys to be able to see, because a lot of times people see our animals do these behaviors in our show to show off what they can actually do, and it looks like they just know what to do automatically, right? And that's why we do that. But there's a lot of training that goes on behind the scenes before you see that final product. So what Sam is attempting to train Luna, I'll give you an idea since it's probably very unclear right now.
Yes.
Is we are going to attempt to see if Luna will raise her hind flippers up into the air.
Okay.
Almost like doing a handstand.
Yeah, like doing a handstand.
So her two front flippers are supposed to stay on the ground and her rear flippers come back.
Okay.
So what Sam's using is a couple of training tools that we use with our animals. So that's the first step we had to do with any training is what tools do we use, what do those mean, and how can we communicate with you? So she's using target pulls. So Luna is trained to touch her nose to the end of the target, but then she's also trained to target other body parts when a second target pull is presented. So they do guess a lot, and we just have to make sure that we're really clear as soon as they guess correctly. Yes, that's what we want to see, even if it's as small as her just doing that.
Okay. That's
So
really
you
good.
saw her take that.
Because we've noticed, like, even in the probably 90 seconds we were talking, she stopped putting her front flipper down.
That's right.
And she understood that, oh,
Like
it's
it's
my
not
rear
this.
that needs to get the attention. Oh my, they are so incredibly smart. And it's really cool to see the behind the scenes of how that they learn. Oh, I love watching her think. It's incredible. Let's see. Let's watch it.
And a lot of it comes from, you know, if you learn something new, you're going to revert back to that. So you can hear Luna making some sounds. So a lot of that she knows Sam already likes because she's produced those sounds before to Sam, and she's like, you used to like these before, let me keep trying things that might be what you're asking for. So a lot of times, like I said, they do guess when they're very first starting to learn, but if you can get them anywhere close to it. So if you're training your dog to sit, for example, you're not going to expect to say sit and they just do it. Right?
Oh, yeah.
So a lot of people do this every single day. They're just not really aware of how we do it with ours because they're such huge behaviors.
Yeah. And then the big shiny thing that happens at the end of all this, when she's learned the behavior, the bridge happens, then Sam's just going to be able to, like that, she's going to be able to use a hand gesture or say a vocal command, and they'll know exactly what to do.
That's right.
Which is incredible. And then, of course, they hear the whistle blow, and they get that delicious fish, which is what they really want. Oh, this has been so much fun on the deck here at Sea Lion Splash. Thank you so much, Jessica,
No problem.
and Sam, and Darcy, all the way over there. Thank you for helping us out. It has been lots of fun, Luna. I am so sorry. I couldn't forget about you. Thank you all so much for joining us here on Wild Wednesday. We will see you next time. See you later.